Hello guys, welcome back onto the Dutch Couch. So this week, well, I've been sent this by a viewer actually, and I've looked more into it. It's going to be a Serie A game between Milan and Como, played in Perth, Australia. Bear in mind, this is the domestic league game in Serie A, right? And in Miami, United States of America, Villareal, a home game, they're going to be playing against Barcelona, a league game from La Liga, played in America. I'm looking at this, I don't agree with it anyway. In my opinion, any competitive domestic game should be played domestically. It's ridiculous. The clue's in the name there, domestic. But mark my words, I've said this for years. The English Premier League will be all over this. There will be English Premier League games. I guarantee it. I'd put money on it. I'd put my mortgage on it. They're going to be played in America. Whether it be America, China, Japan, they will be played abroad. Guarantee it, mate. There's money to be made. I believe all parties, UEFA, reluctantly, well, they say reluctantly. I don't think it was very reluctant because they sort of made their decision very quickly to say, yes, it's okay to do it with these two games going to Australia and America. I think they were cowardly. I think they laid down and bent over to the clubs there. I think apparently, there's a few parties at the top there that need to totally agree things. Guarantee that won't be a problem because these clubs and the leagues there will be so hell bent on these games happening because the Serie A and the Liga, they're looking to gain a wider audience, aren't they? Because they're miles behind the Premier League. They're trying to compete with the Premier League, which at the moment they're miles behind. So I sort of get that. But the Premier League will not stand by and just watch this happen. They'll be already working out how they can get teams out to play in the likes of America, all over the world, for certain games, because they know it's a money maker. I don't think the Premier League even need the exposure. That Premier League is such a massive product anyway. It's worldwide. Everybody wants a piece of it, and they're getting it. Sadly, English Premier League fans who can't get to a game, 3 o'clock on a Saturday, they've got no access to the games on TV. But funnily enough, abroad you seem to be able to watch all these games. The only way you're able to watch it in this country is illegally. Make that make sense. It's unbelievable. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Like I said, Serie A and the Liga are well behind at the moment, despite having basically Barcelona and Real Madrid in La Liga. I don't know how they can be behind. With those two clubs under their wing, and with some of the players they've got in their league, how they're lagging behind is beyond me. But I personally love Serie A. Honestly, back in the day, I'd personally go and get James Richardson out of retirement. I'd say, come and present Channel 4 Serie A coverage again, sorry. Back in the day, that was the nuts. That made a Sunday. Serie A on Channel 4. I'm not going to say the theme there, but it was just brilliant. And Serie A was full of top-notch, world-class players. That was the league where all the best players went. Until the Premier League absolutely gazumped it big time, and they still are now. But I truly believe the Premier League will sell its soul here. They will be looking at every which way they can get games in other countries, domestic games, not these pre-season friendlies and pre-season tours they do and little tournaments they make. I mean games that actually mean something. They will find a way. And I'll be honest, I don't think they'll be fussed about, well, I know for a fact they won't be fussed about the loyal supporters who go week in, week out domestically. They won't care if you can't get out there. They don't care because they know they'll get big dosh, ka-chings. The ka-chings are there. They'll be there to be made. When a pound note speaks, nothing else matters. And I don't think they'll be fussed about the welfare of the players either. We keep constantly hearing the players play too much. I know they won't be playing extra games, but they'll be doing extra travelling. And that has a knock-on effect for further games with the travelling. Trust me, it's tiring. It's knackering. I don't think the players will be up for this. It's just more workload for them. They won't care. The Villareal Barcelona game, I think it's a home game. It's billed as a home game. I think it's going to be this year, actually. 20th of December, maybe, I think I read earlier. But it's a Villareal home game. But the only thing I don't like about this, also, another thing I don't like about it is, although it's a home game, they're going to be playing at a neutral stadium. But bigger than that, they're going to have hardly any supporters there, I think, Villareal, because, not being funny, when you go into Miami to play Barcelona, stadium's going to be totally Barcelona. So you're literally playing an away game twice. That's the only thing I'm not on board with this is. And for me, if say Villareal, right, are going for Europe and they miss out by a point or miss up by 3 points, that home game that they've now played away could turn out to be crucial and go right against them. I know they'll make some money. I know they'll make probably a lot of money here. But for the fans, they might miss out on a European journey the next season, if that makes sense. I think there's bigger things to look at with this. Same with Milan and Como. It could go the same with them. And they're travelling to the other side of the world, Australia, for this domestic game. Competitive domestic Serie game. Ridiculous. The Premier League are going to have some of this, 1,000,000%. I mean, the only fans who I'd personally say would be happy in the Premier League to travel to the other side of the world for a home game would probably be West Ham's. Not due to the fact that they'll be looking forward to going there, just due to the fact that they get a week away from the London Stadium. That shit old ground that they've been thrown in by them owners. They've torn the soul out of their club. And I think the Premier League, I think they'll personally really push for this now. I really do. They'll get on this little bandwagon and they'll have some of it. I wouldn't be surprised if Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville are already been priced up for cowboy outfits and cheerleaders outfits. They'll already be out there. They'll be sitting there ready, mate. I'm telling you, doing a bit of line dancing. We've been told by UEFA this won't be a regular thing, and it is an exception. I don't believe that for a minute. Don't believe that for a minute. I can imagine it now. I can imagine Burnley versus Palace, and we're live in the middle of the fucking Brazilian rainforest, and it's live. Something like that. Corny. Cringy. It's going to be really a Premier League game that will be properly Americanised, in my opinion. You'll have players introduced one by one, and all that crap that they did in the Club World Cup thing that Chelsea won, that silly tournament. Totally Americanised. That is how this is going to end up with these Premier League games. I'm not sure how many it would be, but there will be. Mark my words, this will happen. We keep hearing. I don't think we've heard the last of it. Sorry, about this Super League and all. That's going to keep rearing its head. That won't go away. One day that will happen. I think it's sort of already happening in a roundabout way with the way that they're restructuring tournaments, and I think we're getting it without knowing we've got it. Football's changed so much. The modern game, absolutely, like everything in life, it is absolutely run by the money men. And it's being taken away from the working class man. How many people who, say if Arsenal travel to Australia for a league game, a Premier League game, and they're playing, they're playing Burnley or Sunderland or someone. How many Arsenal fans that would love to go out there, how many of those fans will miss out, and they might have bought season tickets to that game that's billed as a home game? They might not be able to afford to get out there. No fault of their own, they'll miss a home game when they've bought a season ticket. Will Arsenal reimburse them for that certain game? Or there's a lot that has to go into this, a lot of thought and organisation that has to go into it. Do you know what I mean? We all know clubs can't wait to get out. As soon as the season's finished, I think it was Newcastle last summer. As soon as the season finished, we heard, we're absolutely shattered, we're knackered, we need a rest. Well, I think the day after the season finished, I'm sure it was Newcastle, correct me if I'm wrong, travelled straight out to the other side of the world for a few friendly games. And I'm thinking, the players obviously didn't want it because they're moaning that they're knackered. The fans are hearing they're knackered, but then we're seeing these Premier League stars going halfway around the world again. I know they're commercially tied to it. We know that. It's money. It brings the kajings in. We know that. But I think we've got to look at it more than money sometimes. I think you've got to look at, I think these players do need a rest. As much as people say, oh, no, I'll do a 12-hour day. I don't earn half of what they earn in a day to what they get, whatever. You can only perform at the top level. For these players to play at the top elite level like they're expected to, they're under constant scrutiny, right? So their performance has got to be bang up. They're getting stick otherwise. They're constantly tracked by the stuff that's reading all the running they're doing. So they're under pressure anyway, because they know that this computer's catching them out if they ain't working hard enough. They've got to be at the top of their game. If they're playing too much and traveling's a big thing for me. It takes a big toll on your body and mentally as well. You've got to think about this. I know there's money to be made. I know there's some fans will probably enjoy going abroad, but I think that in England in particular, the Premier League fans, I think as a whole, if you've done a poll, I think most fans would say, get lost, get out of here. We don't want our game took abroad. It's like me asking, I support Ajax Amsterdam, right? I live in East London. It's like me expecting Ajax and Feyenoord to play the Classic here round the corner to me because I live here and support them. No. Your bread and butter is the fans in your own country that go week in, week out. That's your bread and butter. And that's the ones you should be thinking of first, in my opinion, and your players. But the Premier League is such a big product now. It's absolutely huge. And when there is a demand for it, the big wigs and the money men will give the supply. They will supply the demand because they know there's rewards in it. At the end of the day, there will be big cash prizes here. So tradition for me means nothing anymore. I think that's totally gone out of the game at all levels, particularly at the top level. I think we look at things wrong. We totally do look at things wrong. The gains. I don't think we look after, like I just said, our bread and butter supporters, local area. I think everything's financial now. Everything. Not just in football, in all aspects. Everything is run financially. Bring me back to a bit of tradition, honestly. But for me, the clue is in the word domestic. It's domestic. It's your own country. How a game from the Premier League, Serie, the Liga, could ever be played, a domestic competitive league game in a different country or on the other side of the world, beggars belief. It should not happen. It should not be allowed to happen. UEFA should have stood firm. Everybody should stick firm with it. But